My wife knew she's in trouble when I told her she's not going anywhere unless I meet her girls in person, and now she's crying alone because I took all my stuff and left. Years ago, I used to be married to she who must not be named Dash in my family. For the purposes of brevity, we shall call her Alice. Somewhat significant age gap when we got married. I was 27 and Alice was 19 at the time. We had our share of ups and downs, and during one particularly hard time about a year after we got married, we were sunk in credit card debt and had to move in with her mother, who had a whole bunch of chronic medical problems and no insurance. Stepdad is a shade tree mechanic, who was not bad at it, actually, but couldn't get regular work because he had medical problems all on his own. Move in, cut some costs, help the family. It's the right thing to do, right? Problem was, Alice and I couldn't seem to both hold jobs at the same time. She would get laid off a week before I would start a new job, and vice versa. After about 9 months of this, I was like, duck it, I'ma get all the jobs. I get a job working weeknights. I got a weekend job. The temp service I signed up with was really aggressive and got me decent weekday jobs on a regular basis. Only problem was, these jobs were over an hour away from her mom's, and I'd be so passed away tired from working, I'd crash at my brother's place, which was 10 minutes away the next city over. I'd only be able to go home to see Alice every few days, then have to get up a few hours later so I could beat the rush hour into work. 4 months pass, and we find ourselves slowly inching from the red into the black. One day, Alice lets me know that she got a job. It's about 20 minutes away, and I only have a working car. She has friends that can give her a ride when I'm not home, and I take her to work or pick her up every chance I get. This goes on for about a month. Finally she says, I think I need my own car. It's all good, she's an independent girl, and I can see how hard it is for her to be so dependent on other people. I do some quick math and figure it would take about 4 months for us to get enough money together to get a decent beater that won't pass away in a year. She nods her understanding. I see her disappointment, and my man pride cannot take it. I level up and go beast mode. I start taking side jobs, mostly construction, with a friend of a friend who pays on a per-day basis to fill out the times when I have blanks on weekdays when the temp agency hasn't got anything for me, and I pull double shifts for the weekend job. I sleep an average of 4 or 5 hours a day. 3 weeks later, I purchased a car for her, a cute little 4x4 that I saw on Craigslist. Mechanically sound, but was dirty as duck. I park it at a friend's place and over the course of a week, give that grimy bastard the most comprehensive cleaning of its life. You could have eaten off the wheel wells, I crap you not. My good buddy Nathan springs for some cheap but nice visuals, will paint, seat covers, floor mats, etc., and we make it look even better. When we move it out of the garage, my friend's mom swears it can't be the same car, and I have to prove it to her. I leave my car with Nathan and drive home in her car. Timing is perfect. I'm about 10 minutes away from home when Alice calls me on my cell. She wants to go get some groceries. I let her know I'll be there in a bit and park by the curb one house down. I knock on the door and tell her to come out so we can go. She steps out and looks around. Where's your car? Left it at Nathan's. What did you drive? That. I point at the car. Whose car is that? Yours. She takes a couple of seconds to process that single word. Then, her jaw drops and Alice runs back inside screaming MOM, OP got me a CAR. I worked my butt off so we could get out of debt. I was there for her brother and sister when stepdad would go on a bender and hulk out when his frustrations got the best of him. I never hit her, and I never cheated on her. I really, truly tried to make it work. Alice had cheated on me once before, but I sincerely believe that people can change if they really want to. She was profusely and abjectly sorry and promised to never do it again. I took her apology at face value, and life went on. I never brought it up again, not even in our worst arguments. But, having been burned, I remained vigilant. We had moved in with her mom to help out with her family's medical bills, but moved out when those were under control, and we were finally able to get ahead just a little. We had a little bit of disposable income, and a little bit more free time for ourselves. For years into our marriage, I noticed that she was going out a lot with friends. Work was demanding more of her time. She was coming home later and later. She was skipping out on eating our meals together. Classic signs. I finally confronted her. One day, she told me she was going out with friends. Again. I said it was fine. When her friends came to pick her up, I told her I wanted to meet them. "Oh, we have to be somewhere at this time, and we'll just make it if we leave now." I consider myself pretty laid back, but I took a hard line this time. "You're not going anywhere until I meet them." She knows she's caught. She goes out the door, and comes back with one guy. My heart rate shoots up, and I try to keep my rage under control. My dad was an old-school soldier, and he taught us discipline. You learn discipline real fast when screwing up means you get the belt. I have both of them sit down, she can't even look at me. I straight up ask, "Are you her boyfriend? Is she your girlfriend?" Guy has a smirk sneer on his face. "What do you think? You know that saying, seeing red? It's true. I saw red. I wanted to get my machete and go to town. But discipline. You are better than they are." I control my breathing, take a deep cleansing breath. My voice is shaky. I point to her. "You woman, if this is how you treat our marriage, then I want nothing to do with you." I point to the guy. "You. If she can do this to her husband, guess what she's going to do to you?" I point to the door. "Both of you may now leave." The guy drops the smirk off his face because he sees something in mine, and both get up and scramble for the door. Right before it shuts, I can hear her yelling at him about how close he came to dying. I hear the car peel out a few seconds later. I lock the door and collapse down against it. Emotions ensue. That night, she called me up. She's getting her stuff and getting the FO of my life. I'm still messed up, so I say yes. I tell her I'll even stay out while she does this. "Fine," she says. The next day, I go out and do stuff. Then I go do more stuff just to do stuff. When I get home, she's taken her stuff. She's also taken a crap ton's worth of my stuff. Stuff that was sentimental to me but not to her, just to deny me that little bit more happiness. That's not right, that's just rubbing it in with a rake. I'm stone cold sober now, and I begin to plan. It takes a week, but there's an end result. A week after the nuke drops on our marriage, I've worked out the problem. She's already gotten her stuff and moved out by then. I called her up to meet. Lunchtime, her work. Just to talk, I say. There's a little pseudo-eco-industrial picnic area right by the building she works at, and there's a fair amount of foot traffic, i.e., witnesses. There's some chit-chat, and she makes a vague appeal to work things out by dragging my passed-away dad into it. Hell's nah. You don't have the right to do that. You had a 1% chance, but that just flat-out dropped it to 0. I cut her off mid-sentence. "I'm taking the car." "Your car." "What?" "The pink slip is in my name. I'm taking back my property right now. And if you don't hand over the keys right now, I'm going to report it stolen to the police." "But you gave that car to me." I'd been talking in a normal, conversational tone up until this time. Her betrayal rams into my chest for the 1,000th time. My voice hardens. "I didn't give the car to you. I gave the car to my wife." Her brain still isn't firing on all cylinders. She asks, but how will I get to work?" "Get your boyfriend to drive you." I'm still looking at her. Her face goes slack as she realizes that I am not kidding. I take the keys, get into her baby, and drive off. I look at her as we pass. She still has the same look on her face. And I drive all the way home with the biggest crap-eating grin on mine. First person I called immediately after I got home was her mom. I told MIL that we, her daughter and I, couldn't be together anymore. Mil tries to get more information, but I tell her to get it from her daughter and call me if she needs any more details. Mil is cussing up a storm, not directed at me, when I hang up. A couple of days later, I got a call from her brother who is 6 feet 1 inch and built like a brick crap house. This is the guy who told me that if I ever hurt his little sister, he would melt my passed away body in acid so no one would ever find it. Bro, I'm sorry about what happened. If you need anything, just call. My Mil has 10 siblings. She told all of them, and all of them were solidly behind me. Even the psycho aunt that nobody else in the family talked to. Her cousins, nieces, and nephews called me up to offer support. It was immensely gratifying. Karma. About a year later, I heard through a friend that BF got her pregnant then dumped her. A year after that, heard she was pregnant again from a different guy who also dumped her. We have reached the end of the story. Let's listen to some of the comments by our Reddit listeners. Comment 1. Man, that sucks. Did you ever get your sentimental stuff back, at least? I think if there's anything this sub has taught me, it's that at the very least I'll have a friend supervise if when my future wife ruins my life. OP reply. Nope, I did not. That was one of the paradigm shifts in my life where I realized that if I can't do anything about it, then why worry about it? I learned to let it go. Comment 2. That's sweet karma. Did she ever apologize to you? OP reply. Tried, but was just a little bit unsuccessful in getting a hold of me. By the time she figured out where I was when I popped out of ninja stealth mode, I was halfway around the world. Gave up, I was outta here anyways. Moved to another continent instead. My crazy family made my BF unwilling to communicate anymore after my own brother fought me because of cat litter. Hello everyone. Just want to start by saying BF and I have been living together very happily for the past 2 years. This is a little lengthy, but I am grateful for this community to share. Here's the deal. We live in harmony. We are both very chill, and he's my best friend. We are on the same page about things, but my family seems to be a potential issue long term, and I am wondering how big of an issue this may be. My bro, 29M, and his fiancée, 26F, recently moved to our area, and we housed them for 7 months. Long story short, their stay, originally stated it would be 3 months in our extra room, ended up being 7. I am financially stable, and my brother and his fiancée are not. So I didn't charge them rent at all, and my BF was okay with this because he is also financially stable, so we don't need or want their income. Anyways, during their stay things progressively got worse. They have a cat, and the fiancée, my future sister-in-law, values her cat like a child. They were a bit messy leaving their dishes out or small stuff like that, which was annoying, but not enough to make a huge deal. Things really took a head one day when she broke a tile in my restroom by dropping a candle. I saw her do it, and I brought it up to my brother. Later, my brother called me out to talk about it, and while she was standing right there, said that my parents must have done it during a visit because she didn't. I literally looked her in the eyes and was like, I saw you do it. And she said nothing. My bro was not going to budge. Anyways, I've been resentful since, but since she's family now I am trying to forgive and let go. NGL, it's hard and I still resent her. She and I haven't texted at all since they moved out. My bro and I still hang out a bit, and I've told him I think he was 100% in the wrong, but he's not going to go against his fiancée. He has apologized to my BF. His fiancée hasn't. BF is especially annoyed during the moment because they didn't even thank us for letting them stay there rent-free, and showing gratitude is really important to him. During their stay, everything blew up in a huge fight one day when we asked both of them to keep their cat in their room or to at least watch it, because every time we try to leave the house, it tries to leave as well and tries to scratch us if we don't let it leave. Usually we just slowly leave and try to push him back inside, but it's caused an annoyance for my BF, so after talking to me about it, he finally sat down with them when I was at work and told them next time he leaves he's not going to try to keep their unbehaved cat inside. It's not his pet and not his responsibility, and he's tired of getting scratched, so if it runs out due to them not watching, it runs out. By the way, they work from home. Basically, bro's fiancé started crying, saying it's his house too, the cats, and that we, my boyfriend and I, be asterisk about everything. My brother agreed we do be asterisk. I was surprised my bro said this about me. Apparently, examples are like the tile, dishes in the sink, asking them to clean up a small amount of spilled cat litter. My bro and I were super close prior to his return, but long story short, they moved out immediately after this fight, and have been moved out for over 6 months. Now, my boyfriend feels like he has zero desire to get to know them or spend time with them. He says he doesn't have resentment and he's no longer mad about it, but they add zero value to his life and therefore has no desire to make an effort. Also, he's not comfortable being home if my bro is over visiting, which he hasn't been, because I want to keep our home a safe space for my BF. Plus, me and my bro can hang out anywhere else. Not to mention BF does encourage me to spend time with my bro. To add to this, my mom had to stay with us for a few days, and during her stay, she's bipolar and dealing with some mental issues. She cussed him out because he came home in an upset mood and she took it as a personal attack that she was unwelcome. It was a huge ordeal. I feel bad for my BF and he apologized to my mom for how she was feeling. He's going through personal issues with his family, and that's why he was upset. My mom only stayed a few days and she's gone now, and same thing, he felt like they were close before, would joke and go with me to help my mom with errands, but now has no desire to spend any more time with her but still encourages me to spend time with her because she's my mom. This kind of upsets me because I am not sure if long-term this is going to have a negative effect on me and our relationship, always having to separate my family time from relationship time. I feel that his feelings are 100% valid because my family has been rude and they mistreated him. Should I just get used to keeping things separate? I would like some outside perspective. Please, no mean comments about my family. This is more to get info about my BF having zero interest in getting to know my family moving forward, and if I should just respect that and move on. We have reached the end of the story. Let's listen to some of the comments by our Reddit listeners. Comment 1. I'm going to express an opinion that's contrary to most of the other comments here. I think your boyfriend is being a little immature. What's the old saying? House guests are like fish, after 3 days they both stink. In short, talk to him, explain what is important to you, and be willing to compromise. If he still doesn't care, then I think it says something about him. You'll need to take that information and figure out if the relationship is worth it, knowing he will never want to be involved with your family beyond the level he is at now. Comment 2. Your boyfriend and you sound like level-headed people. Hopefully in the future you guys can move past this issue. But if your boyfriend doesn't want to spend time with them, I don't think it should be a problem cause he's already tried, and it sounds like they were the issue. You guts were super nice to let them stay with you guys rent-free. They should be able to do the small things you asked for. Your home, your rules.